All right, we have heard plenty about alleged Russian collusion, but what about Palestinian collusion? An update on a story you heard first last night right here on that shocking report claiming former Secretary of State John Kerry tried to undermine President Trump's Middle East peace efforts. We're digging deeper into that story next. Amid reports he could be eyeing another White House run, former Secretary of State John Kerry facing tough questions over reports he tried to undermine President Trump's Mideast peace efforts. Kerry allegedly sent a message to Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas through a confidant, quote, not to give in to Trump.
That kind of advice would be stunningly unpatriotic, and I don't think that John Kerry would do something like that.
Starting his own peace process, well, God bless him. Go for it. Knock yourself out, Secretary Kerry. Now, I'd like to hear Kerry's response to this. If he denies it all, that's going to be interesting. I don't think he will. I think it has the ring of truth.
Well, Clifford May is the founder and president of the Foundation for Defense of Democracies and joins us live. Great to have you with us.
Thank you.
And we have reached out through multiple channels to try to get some clarification or any comment from the former Secretary of State. And again, we welcome that, and we want to have any clarity that we need to have whether these comments did or didn't happen or what he intended by them, if indeed they were made. What do you make of what you've heard so far?
Well, if indeed that's what he said, then he is attempting to undermine the U.S. government's foreign policy. And for a former Secretary of State to do that strikes me as probably unprecedented and probably un-American. You just don't do that. And it's no favor to the Palestinians to say, you know what, don't negotiate, don't be involved in a peace process under Trump. Wait a year or so, he'll probably be out of office, which we're told he said as well. And then you'll get a more obliging president who will do what? Revert to the peace process under the Obama administration, which achieved nothing.
Well, to me, too, that logic doesn't make any sense, because if you think you're going to end up with a President Mike Pence, and you think he's going to be he's going to cave in any way on Israel policy or Jerusalem, that seems nonsensical to me.
That seems, but maybe he's saying wait for a President John Kerry, and I will help you with that, because that's what we're hearing rumors of. But look, I think at this point we know. I know President Trump has a vision of trying to get a peace process going, but with Mahmoud Abbas, that's pretty hard to do. It was always hard to do. I always suspected he was not somebody who saw himself shaking hands with Netanyahu on the White House lawn. But he recently had his, kind of a meltdown, a 2-hour speech that was anti-Semitic, in which he said, Trump, I hope your house is raised, meaning your family. He really made it clear that he will never sign a peace agreement, no matter what deal is put on the table by the Israelis. So and the thing is, he's 82 years old. He's not in great health. He smokes. He's 14 years into a 4-year term. He was only elected once, never ran again. He has never designated a successor, nor is there a process for his succession. I just don't see how you get to peace from here at this moment.
Yeah, and on Sunday, when we were in Ramallah, I talked with Saeb Erekat, the top Palestinian negotiator over there, and asked him, are they kind of at their end of their rope as a boss? Was that speech a goodbye? Where are they going from here? And he said, really short of this president revoking everything that he just said about Jerusalem on December 6th, they're not coming back to the table. And I said, well, you have no voice in this process if you don't come back. Do you want things decided without your input? And he just says that until that Jerusalem thing changes, we're not coming back.
Part of the problem with the peace process, so-called, over all these years is it's missed an important point. You can't have peace, a two-state solution, unless you accept that there are two states for two peoples. One of those peoples will be the Palestinians, one of those will be the Jewish people. And the Jewish people are not recognized by Abbas as a people. So I don't know how you get there from here in that situation as well.
Okay, so the Republican Jewish Coalition, part of their statement today was this: John Kerry is no longer a representative of the American people, and his action conducting a shadow foreign policy is reckless and undermines the possibility of achieving peace. The American people chose President Trump in part because he promised to pivot away from the failed policies of John Kerry.
I think that's true. And one of the ways he did that, look, in recognizing that Jerusalem is, as it is, the capital of Israel, he's not ruling out the possibility of a Palestinian capital in East Jerusalem or near East Jerusalem. That's still a possibility. But what he's doing is essentially finding a clever way to nullify the body blow given by the Obama administration in December 2016 UN Security Council Resolution 2334, which said Jerusalem, including the Jewish quarter of the Old City, doesn't belong to the Jews, including the holiest sites for 3,000 years for Jews, do not belong to them. That delegitimizes Israel in a way that makes it impossible to have a successful peace process.
All right, we've got to leave it there. Clifford May, thank you so much for coming in.
My pleasure.
I appreciate it.